Cryptocurrency is a big part of our world, whether people want to believe it or not. What started out as a new kind of currency has become all sorts of things over time, including a new way to invest and trade currency, giving rise to million-dollar things like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and even getting governments to wonder if cryptocurrency is the future. The biggest of all these, of course, is Bitcoin, which set the tone for what this kind of digital currency can be. But it has also raised a lot of questions about whether it can be trusted, so allow us to show you the downsides of Bitcoin. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. What is Bitcoin again? Bitcoin may have been around for a while in its own way, but there are some who still don't understand the ins and outs of it, if you will. In short, it's kind of a digital money. Bitcoin is a digital currency that was created in January of 2009. It follows the ideas set out in white paper by the mysterious and pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. The identity of the person or persons who created the technology is still a mystery today. Bitcoin offers the promise of lower transaction fees than traditional online payment mechanisms, and unlike government-issued currencies, it is operated by a decentralized authority. Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency. There are no physical Bitcoins, only balances that are kept on a public ledger that everyone has transparent access to. All Bitcoin transactions are verified by a massive amount of computing power. Bitcoins are not issued or backed by any banks or governments, nor are individual Bitcoins valuable as a commodity. Despite it not being legal tender, Bitcoin is very popular and has triggered the launch of hundreds of other cryptocurrencies, collectively referred to as altcoins. Bitcoin is commonly abbreviated as BTC. Now, there are various kinds of sites that use Bitcoin for purchases because of the lack of fees, and in certain cases, see the dark web, are used because of their ability not to be tracked. After all, it's not there, so there's nothing to track, per se at least. If this was to happen a few decades ago at the start of the internet age, there's no doubt it wouldn't be even considered due to the uncertainty of it all. But as technology grew and Bitcoin proved more useful and valuable, people bought into it. But just because a lot of people have bought into it doesn't mean that it's something we all should get behind, because there are some key disadvantages. Number 6. It's incredibly volatile in terms of price and worth. The price of Bitcoin is always rippling back and forth. If you happen to buy Bitcoin on December 17, 2017, the price was $20,000. Weeks later, you couldn't sell your investment for more than $7,051. The Bitcoin market is constantly changing. With such an unpredictable market, you could hardly get a good return on your investment. To avoid a huge loss, keep a close eye on the market, because only when it reaches a certain high can you honestly go and make money off of it. Which is honestly part of the problem, because while this is the same game that stocks play in a certain way, this is a lot more volatile. Yes, even including what happened with GameStop earlier in the year. For proof of this, just look at Elon Musk. As one of the richest men in the world, it's not overly surprising that he went and invested in Bitcoin via his company Tesla, and at one point even said that he would allow Bitcoin to be allowed as a way to purchase Tesla cars. Naturally, Bitcoin's worth boomed over that. But then, less than 3 weeks later, Elon had a change of heart after learning about Bitcoin mining, and all of a sudden, the market value of Bitcoin dropped 10%. And that is just one example of how volatile it can be. And trust us when we say there is a lot more examples of it dropping out for one reason or another. Yes, people have gotten rich through Bitcoin, but it's not as easy as others have led some to believe. And with all the volatility, it can be hard to predict which part of the scale you'll be on. Number 5. Wallets can be lost. If a hard drive crashes or a virus corrupts data and that wallet file that has all of your cryptocurrency is corrupted, well, your Bitcoins have essentially been lost. There is nothing that can be done to recover it. These coins will be forever orphaned into the system. This can bankrupt a wealthy Bitcoin investor within seconds with no form of recovery. The coins the investor owned will also be permanently orphaned. And that is another very key thing right there, because say what you want about banks, interest rates, and more, but if something were to happen at your bank, your money and accounts would be secured. Heck, even PayPal would be able to ensure that your money stays with you, because there is a system to go and get these things done and done properly. But with cryptocurrency, the system isn't the same. All it takes is one wrong digit, one wrong typing of a code, and the coins are gone. which is not the best safety net at all. In fact, you could argue that you're putting in a lot of faith on cryptocurrency versus the more standard currency in terms of it not just up and vanishing. Number 4, hacks. Hacking is a big threat facing a Bitcoin investor. Bitcoin exchanges let you buy and sell your cryptos using a mobile app or website. This leaves them susceptible to hacking and theft of all your investment. And Bitcoin held on exchanges is not insured by the FDIC. So that right there is another big security issue, because at your banks there is a system in place in case something hacks their system, and it is very unlikely for that to happen given their security programs. But with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency, it is easier to get into your accounts and make the money go from where it should be to where they want it to be. This kind of thing happens via the dark web, where Bitcoin honestly thrives as it is untraceable. So unless you have the best security password ever, investing in Bitcoin could leave you a target to someone who wants to take what you have bought. Number 3, where can you even use Bitcoin? That is the question that a lot of people have been asking as of late, and the answer is not as many places as you would like to think. Bitcoin is currently only accepted by a few online merchants. Many companies also don't recognize Bitcoin as a legitimate exchange, making it an unfeasible investment vessel. Besides, there's only a fixed supply of Bitcoin, 21 million. Yep, now that can technically grow and is being done by Bitcoin miners and farmers, but still, that is a limited supply for a lot of demand. And what's more, as shown before, some companies were okay with using it, but they can pull out of it using without care about you or your investments. It's not like a regular currency where at worst they can say cash only or credit only. With Bitcoin, they can full on say no cryptocurrency, and you would be out of luck. Number 2, government disapproval. The US government and other governments could crack down on Bitcoin. In a worst case scenario, governments could actually ban cryptocurrencies. It's already garnered the attention of the IRS. Now if you're thinking, oh, they would never go that far, are you so sure about that? China, for example, is the nation that has the most Bitcoin farms, and the country hates it. So they're trying to ban Bitcoin on all cryptocurrency outright, and other nations have been doing the same after some of them have fallen to Bitcoin scams. And when you have governments potentially using their power to rid the world of Bitcoin in the overarching sense, that is a problem. Number 1, to get or not to get. Now, to be clear, while we have outlined many problems of Bitcoin, it should be said that this isn't a blanket statement over why you shouldn't go and get Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. This is merely a warning to you and to others out there that while it may seem like the new best craze, all crazes have limits and ends. So don't buy in if you're not willing to lose what you invest. And if you're not careful, it'll cost you big in the end. So like all money deals, think smart, do your research and see where it goes. But know the risks, or else you'll be risking a lot in return. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the downsides of Bitcoin and how you need to consider them before fully investing in them? Do you believe that they are a downside, or do you think that there's more upside to this digital currency than people want to admit? Do you have an investment in Bitcoin? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time on the channel.